All right, guys, new bike day today. We're getting ready to come pick it up. Waiting for Andrew to come by. We're gonna drive out there together, pick up the new bike. As most of you guys know, I've been looking for a new bike for some time now. I did purchase the Aprilia here in January, but that was kind of a impulse purchase just because it was such a good deal. But I was actually looking for something else. Most of you guys know what exactly I was looking for. I did finally get one or find one for a price I was willing to pay. So let's go ahead and take you along for the ride. Come on, buddy. Sit. Oh, that's a good boy. That's a good boy. Getting a new bike today. When I come back, it's gonna be something else in the garage. Of course, as luck would have it, for whatever reason, the audio didn't record for the whole trip to the dealership, and for most of the time we were at the dealership. I've had zero issues with these DJI mics, and of course, the one time that I do have an issue, it's while trying to record something that I can't really redo, right? I can't really redo picking up a new bike, but I do have the footage, so what I'll do is I'll try to narrate through it, try to salvage it. I think it'll be okay. But just kind of bear with me here. Anyways, this deal, I've been working on this for about 6, 7 months now. The first time I put in an offer for this bike was back in January. The dealership didn't accept it because riding season was coming around soon. They wanted to wait a little bit longer, see if, at the start of riding season, if somebody would pick the bike up. They're trying to get as much as they can for the bike. Totally get it, totally understandable. Then came April. Bike was still sitting there. I gave this dealership the same offer. They again declined. They wanted to wait a little bit longer to see if somebody would come pick the bike up. But pretty soon came mid-June, end of June. Bike was still there. Gave them the same offer again, and they finally did accept it. So goes to show you, sometimes if you're patient and you have a little bit of luck on your side, you can get a great bike for a really good deal. So as you guys will see in the footage coming up, the dealership that I purchased this bike from, it's a very humble dealer. Um, for most of you that follow this channel, you probably know what bike it is, but for those that don't, it is a Ducati. Normally, Ducati dealerships, they're pretty high end for the most part. If they're shared with other manufacturers, it's usually going to be BMW slash Ducati, KTM, something like that. This particular dealership is Suzuki, Kawasaki, and Ducati, which is kind of unusual, but these folks are really, really nice. It's a very nicely kept dealership, but it is humble, as you guys will see. And unfortunately for the Panigale V2, I think I am going to have to sell it just with the insurance costs and maintenance and all that. I don't really see a way that I can keep it. But the good thing is I already have a buyer lined up for it. The transaction hasn't occurred yet, but the buyer is serious, and luckily the buyer is a very, very close, or potential buyer I should say, is a very, very close friend. So you guys still would be seeing it on the channel. Hopefully we can still do some additional modifications to it if this individual does end up going through with the purchase. But it's a shame. I don't think I can afford to continue to pay the insurance and maintenance on it and just kind of keep it around. It's too bad because I love the V2. It's very, very nimble. It's very narrow. It's very light. I mean, it feels like you're riding like a 600cc motorcycle, but it has way more power, way more torque. Obviously, it looks super cool. But the good thing, again, it should still, you guys still should be seeing it on the channel quite often. Anyways, let's go ahead and get going. Pick up the new bike. Here we are pulling up to the dealership. It's Good Times, Kawasaki, Suzuki, and Ducati. You guys will probably notice there's actually a Husqvarna sign at the front there. I did not see any Husqvarnas in the showroom, so I'm not sure if they actually sell those here or not. The vast majority of their inventory is Suzuki and Kawasaki with some Ducatis. Um, Not in the best neighborhood in the city, but not in the worst either. I thought this was pretty cool up front. They had a retro livery, Ninja 500. I think that's pretty neat that Kawasaki is doing that. They're doing these kind of throwback paint schemes, which are really, really iconic for their brand. When most of us think about Kawasaki's when we were kids, this is kind of what we're picturing in our mind. As you guys see here, pretty good inventory for a small dealership. It's not the largest dealer in the world, but it's got pretty good inventory. Of course, mostly Kawasaki and Suzuki, but quite a bit to choose from. And again, as I stated before, the folks in here are super nice. I actually bought my V2 from this dealership, and they were really, really cool. So I was glad to give these guys some more business and be a return customer. But as you can see, very, very clean, very cool. ZH2 here as well, but just a nice place to be. A very nice family oriented, family run dealership. Taking a little walk through the inventory, we see there ZX6R, GSXR 750, another one of the retro livery ZX10Rs. I don't know why that GSXR 750 is so ugly. That black and yellow GSXR 1000, much better looking than the 750. I actually like the black and yellow color scheme with the fluorescent sticker on the wheels. But as you can see, decent inventory for a small dealership. See Andrew hopping on that ZX6R there, super light, pretty cool bike, pretty cool paint scheme. They had some of the new Suzuki 8Ss, couple examples there, about 9 grand. Pretty cool to see those. Chorus Ninja 500 in the traditional Kawasaki green. This was pretty cool. Ninja 650. I had never seen this color scheme before. This kind of army green, OD green color scheme. Pretty neat, something a little bit different. Monster SP on the rack there with the Terminonis. And without further ado, guys, let's introduce the new bike for the channel. I'm sure many of you had already guessed, but this is a 2023 Ducati Panigale V4. It is a base. I did not want the electronic suspension from the S. I'll be moving my Marcassini wheels that are currently on the V2 onto this V4. You could see here, Andrew's throwing a leg over it. It's quite high, even for him, but for me, it's really tough for me to operate the bike because the seat height is so high. Strangely enough, it's supposed to have the same seat height as my RSV4, but for whatever reason, it's much taller. So shout out to the guys at Good Times Motorsports for always treating me right, getting me an outstanding deal on this bike. I've been wanting one of these Panigale V4s for a very long time now. Of course, it did take some time. It took some negotiating to get this bike for the price that I really wanted. And in a later video, I'm going to share with you guys my tactics on how to get the bike that you want for a super deal. So be on the lookout for that. All right, first mods on the V4. Seat delete, PPF. So this is what happens when you're a midget. So, but let's get it going. See you guys back at the garage. All right, there it is. 1 mile, brand new. So there it is, guys. Got the Panigale V4 home safely. I did ride it home with no seat. I think I am going to have to lower this bike, which is unfortunate. It's just a little bit too tall for me. But when I pull the seat, it's of course much more manageable. I did order an Ayala lowering link for it. It's supposed to drop the bike 20 millimeters, so that should help. I'm going to try to ride it without dropping it first, but I think this bike is so wide and so tall that I don't think I'm gonna have a choice because I'm just short. But just a small hiccup. I mean,
I never thought I would be able to afford and own these types of bikes and cars and stuff. I never thought I'd be able to do it. So I'm just happy to even have the opportunity to buy something like this. But a lot of plans for this bike. Exhaust, I'm gonna be switching some parts over from the V2 onto the V4. Flash, obviously. I'm gonna try to do some unique stuff to it, hopefully. So if you guys have ideas, let me know. I'm always open to that. Just look at this thing, man. I love the arrow that it has. I like all the little details. All this is cleared over, which is very cool. I do like this. You guys know I'm into my little details that nobody else seems to care about. The vents are cool. Of course, the 22 and newer V4s, these were added, so it's a little more aggressive than the 20 and 21s, but I just can't believe it. I got the RSV4 and the V4. Hard work really does pay off. I'm just, can't even believe it right now. So chime in, you guys. Let me know what you want to see. I have a few things in my mind already, but if you guys know of some really unique things I should do to the V4, please share it with me. If you can, share a link as well. I'm always open to it. I'm new to the V4 platform, obviously not new to Ducatis, but the V4s are new for me. So any information that you have is absolutely useful for me. So that's me picking up another one of my dream bikes, a Panigale V4. I've been wanting one for quite some time. I've been actively putting in offers on V4s since January. I've looked all throughout California, out of state as well. I even considered buying, actually I put in an offer on a V4 that was located in Maryland. So it's been quite a journey, but luckily I was able to land on one that was close to me. It was very convenient. It was very pleasant dealing with that dealership. So I guess things just find a way to work out. If you haven't already, guys, smash that like button, hit the subscribe button. Helps me out quite a bit. A lot more content on the way. Go ahead and get in the comment section. Let me know what you want to see with this V4, and we'll see if we can make it happen. So until next time, guys, see you next time.